If I told you there was a single, free, legal habit that could raise your testosterone, speed up your muscle recovery, sharpen your focus, and improve your athletic performance, all at once, you'd assume I was selling something. You're not buying anything. You're just going to bed on time. Most men treat sleep as the thing you sacrifice first. Early mornings at the gym, late nights grinding at work, one more episode, one more scroll. Here's the problem. Sleep isn't downtime. It's when your body actually does the work that everything else in your day depends on. Let's start with testosterone, since it's the one most men actually care about. In 2011, researchers at the University of Chicago put 10 young, healthy men through a week of 5-hour nights in a sleep lab, drawing blood every 15 to 30 minutes around the clock. The result? Daytime testosterone dropped by 10 to 15%, a decline the researchers compared to roughly a decade of natural aging. Energy and vigor scores dropped right alongside it. Now, here's the honest part. Most fitness content skips. That famous finding hasn't held up perfectly. A larger 2021 analysis pooling 18 separate studies found that moderate sleep restriction, a handful of hours lost per night, didn't reliably move testosterone in a statistically significant way across a bigger sample. What the data does show clearly is that full, total sleep deprivation, pulling an all-nighter, 24 hours with zero sleep, reliably tanks testosterone. So the real lesson isn't one bad night ruins your hormones, it's that chronic sleep debt, and especially total sleep loss, is what actually costs you. Now let's talk about recovery, because this is where sleep becomes a literal training tool. Your body releases the majority of its daily growth hormone during deep, slow-wave sleep, the stage where muscle repair and protein synthesis actually happen. You don't build muscle in the gym. You break it down in the gym. You build it in bed. Skimping on sleep isn't skipping rest. It's skipping the only window your body has to actually adapt to the work you put in. Here's a genuinely underrated fact. Stanford researchers ran a study on their own men's basketball team, having players extend their sleep to roughly 10 hours a night for several weeks. The results were dramatic for elite athletes. Free throw and three-point shooting accuracy improved by about 9%, and sprint times dropped by roughly 5%. No new drills, no new supplements, just more sleep. And then there's focus. The part of your day sleep quietly sabotages without you noticing. Research from the late 1990s found that being awake for 17 hours straight produces cognitive and reaction time impairment roughly equivalent to a blood alcohol concentration of 0.05%. Stay awake to the 24-hour mark, and that impairment matches a BAC of 0.13%, legally drunk in most places. If you've ever wondered why bad decisions, snapping at people, or sloppy work seem to show up after a rough night, that's not weakness. That's measurable impairment, just without the smell of alcohol to explain it. So what do you actually do with this? Protect a consistent wake-up time before you protect a consistent bedtime. Your body's rhythm follows the first, not the second. Get morning sunlight within the first hour of waking. It's one of the strongest, simplest regulators of your sleep-wake cycle. Cut caffeine after early afternoon, since it lingers in your system far longer than most men assume. And treat your last hour before bed as a wind-down, not a highlight reel of notifications and blue light. Here's the mindset shift. Stop treating sleep like a reward you earn after a productive day. Start treating it like training. The unglamorous, unskippable variable behind every other physical standard you're chasing. You can lift harder, eat cleaner, and show up more disciplined than anyone else in the room, and none of it compounds properly on 5 hours of sleep. The men who look sharpest, perform best, and think most clearly aren't hiding some secret stack. They're just closing their eyes on time.